Hey guys, I'm still continuing down this pathway. I lost my freaking Gandalf staff in the water while I was throwing that little stone in there, unfortunately. So now I'm having to tough it out just with my own 2 feet. But I wanted to share something that, I was kind of reminiscing about Bruce Lee and talking about some of his philosophy and some of his wisdom. But another thing that really stood out to me was he used to have this professor. His name was Curtis McNamara, I want to say, or maybe McMahon. I can't remember. I mean, that was like 20-something years ago that I took his class. But he was a American history professor, and he was a really, really hard-nosed guy. I mean, when I got into his class, there was I want to say close to 30 of us, and first day of class, he basically says, there's 30 of y'all here today. By the end of the week, there'll be less than half of you. And I think that really stood out to me, because he was really, really hard-nosed. I mean, he was ready to go from day one, where he broke into the lesson and started lecturing. So it was one of those professors that really, really challenges you. And one thing that really stood out about him is that on that first day, whenever he had thrown the gauntlet to us and basically said that, out of 30 students, less than half of you are going to be there. And then I think by the end of this first 6 weeks, he stated that less than 10. And I threw that as a personal challenge, for him to have thrown that out at me. I mean, I took it so personal that I felt like he was talking to me directly. And I think one thing, especially in now, modern times now, especially with the youth of today, way that I grew up, respecting my elders, respecting authority figures. And, I've always been the type to question authority for the most part, but you have to do it with regards to being, can you say it, you're not questioning just for the sake of questioning. I mean, you're doing it for a purpose. It's not to be an a-hole or anything like that. But you always have to question things. And one reason why I bring that professor up is, him throwing that gauntlet down to you really makes you think, what you can face, what you can overcome, what obstacles you can get through. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably one of the hardest professors I've ever been taught under. And he was a retired Marine. I don't want to say an ex-Marine, because once a Marine, you're always a Marine. But for the most part, he was a lieutenant colonel, if I'm not mistaken. And just a phenomenal guy. And hearing some of his stories, having spent the majority of his adulthood with the Marines, he was just a fascinating instructor. But he was a no-holds-barred type of guy. Sorry to say, he did not take any BS in that class. If you were late on an assignment, you were going to fail. And out of all my years of having been in and out of college, he stands out the most to me, because he really pushed me to know that you could accomplish things anything that you put your mind to. And I just wanted to give him a shout out. And I highly doubt he's even alive anymore, because he was already pretty old when I had him as a professor. But just a great guy. And even though he could be an a-hole, I want to say that I got a very high B in his class. I would love to say that I got an A. And unfortunately, I didn't. But by far, one of the best history instructors I've ever been under the tutelage of. And I would love to give him a shout out. And if his family happens to see it, and if he's not alive, I just want y'all to know that he definitely made a difference in my life. So just a little piece of information that I don't think I've ever shared that with anyone, to be honest. But it's kind of like one of those NBC the more you know star moments. Anyways, I'm going to continue to the truck. Peace.